Hello and welcome to day something of can month. I just got home from work and I'm just wearing a sports bra because I've given up on all other forms of bras at this point. So today I'm going to be talking about Bloodletting and Miraculous Cures by Vincent Lam. I picked up this book because I'd started seeing it everywhere, and bioethics is part of the philosophy portion of my degree, so I was like, I'm probably gonna like this. Originally, I thought this book was gonna be about a group of young white dudes dealing with the stresses and tragedies of their job in like a medical drama kind of way, but I was so wrong, and I am so happy that I was wrong. It starts with two university students who are trying to get into medical school at the University of Toronto, Fitz and Ming. Ming is first generation from her parents who have moved to Canada from China, and there is a lot in here about kind of navigating that relationship between her and Fitz and how that's going to affect the rest of her family. And Ming gets into medical school first, and then it follows her and two of her other classmates, Chen and Sri or Sri, S-R-I, not sure how you'd say that. And then Fitz is back in university by himself as he's continuing to try to get into the U of T medical program. I found the structure of this book to be really frustrating though. The first part is set up like it's going to be a novel about Fitz and Ming, but then there's a breaking point after Fitz gets into medical school, but then it moves into being short chapters about the four of them as they are residents and then doctors later in their life. I was frustrated just because it didn't turn out to be what it was set up to be, and it just wasn't what I was expecting at all. But I definitely see the value in having set the book up that way because it made it more realistic as the characters would just kind of pop up into each other's lives, and it wasn't a very consistent storyline. It was very kind of intermittent. However, Ming only had one other story after the first part of the book, and same with Sri or Sri. Chen had a couple, but most of them were about Fitz, which was because Ming was clearly the badass out of all of them, and her narration was the best. So, excuse me, sir, but why? Why did you do this? The part that I liked the most about this book was how they showed the relationship between the doctor and the patient. And this happened the most in one chapter, that was the one chapter that Sri got, where he's dealing with a mentally ill patient who is coming in and is having thoughts of paranoia and thinking that people are out to get him and to kill him. It was so good because it went from the patient's point of view, and then it went from the doctor's point of view in terms of how Sri was trying to figure out what was wrong with the patient and then how the patient was reacting to this. It was just really interesting to see the dynamic between the two of them through both of their own perspectives. Overall, I did really enjoy it. And Vincent Lam is a doctor, and he works as an emergency physician, which most of the characters in the story work as too. And his family is from the expatriate community from China that lived in Vietnam. So you know it's interesting and accurate. Diversity, medicine, bloodletting, and miraculous cures. Ming was clearly the badass. Badass? Badass. What?